So hi, I'm Jennifer, and I want to talk about doing eBay quick and easy, that it's not complicated. So the reason I had thought about doing this was because I was selling at a flea market a few weeks ago, and there was a gentleman who was selling in the next booth, and we started talking, and he told me about a coworker of his that is listing things on eBay, and he's, I think, buying Amazon returns maybe. And then he has kind of a calculation on how many listings he'll have to have before he can basically buy himself out of his job. And this gentleman was intrigued, but when his friend would say, oh, I have 100 listings, oh, I have 500 listings, he just thought that sounded really hard. He thought he would have to manage those listings, and that would be complicated, and it's a lot of responsibility and would take a lot of focus. And I was explaining to him that no, with eBay, what you do is you go through the listing process, you put the listing up, and basically after that, eBay takes care of it. So you're not managing things. All you're doing is taking the picture, doing the listing, and then putting it on a shelf, hopefully in some organized manner where it's easy to grab it when it sells. And so I showed him with my phone, just while we were standing there, that you can use Google Lens, find out what it's called. Go ahead and query that in eBay. And then you go down along the left side, you get to choose filters, you look for sold listings, and then it'll show all the ones that sold in the last little bit. And then after that, you filter by, personally I filter by highest price plus shipping, because the people who sold that thing for the most are the ones that listed it the best. Because sometimes you can list it in the wrong category, or maybe use the wrong wording. So somebody who's got a solid sale is a good person to believe that they did the best. So you go through their listing, and then you go to the bottom where it says sell similar. So the basics are there. You write in the title, the same wording that we talked about. I just went to lunch with a friend, and on the way home, I stopped at a garage sale, and I paid $13.50 for the things I bought. These earrings are vintage Laurel Birch. She was the designer that did a lot of cats, you might recognize. And she did do some simple designs, and these are simple. I guess they're I think they listed them as Cinnabar, the red color. And I'm not sure what I'm going to call the design yet, but I did look them up. And Laurel Birch I do sell pretty frequently. I think the minimum I've ever gotten for Laurel Birch is maybe 15, maybe with some scratches. These are a little bit scratched. They can go quite a bit higher, especially with the cats. So where was I? Okay, so we're doing the listing, we're doing the sell similar. We find like these earrings that sold recently. We say with the sell similar, it gives you the basics. It gives you the title. You kind of rearrange it. You make sure that you put as much information that you find on the item as possible. Like it says Laurel Birch on the back. Sometimes place of manufacturer will be there. And it's also good to look at those other listings to see what they noted. But these are gold tone, red enamel, cinnabar color, you might say. These are like dangle earrings. I actually do the whole listing on the phone now. You look it up on the phone, eBay apps on the phone, and then you take your picture with your phone. Then I use Bazaart to take out the background to make it white. And then I list it, and probably it would take me 3 to 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, depending on the photography. Usually you want a minimum of 2 pictures, the front and the back. Like I, right now, have a minimum store. I'm 250 listings. You get free listings every month. Earlier, when my kids were little and they were home, I made a full-time income. I averaged around $4,000 a month there. I think the highest month I ever had was just shy, it was between $8,000 and $9,000. But my husband was my buyer. He's a very good buyer, and he loved it. So, but here I am. Like I said, I went to lunch, and on the way home, I stopped and got these things. So for the earrings, that should go probably 15, 20, maybe 25 max. I paid, is it $1 or $2? I took the thing off. But anyway, you can kind of see how things are going. Here, this weird little tool. I like to pick up tools. I know I'm the girl in the tool area. I don't know what this, well, I didn't know what this is, and I still don't know if I understand what it is. It's supposed to be something that you, because I did use Google Lens to look, and I paid I think $2 for this. But it's supposed to like clean up blades that are cutting things. Anyway, you can tell. I like to buy things I'm curious about. So it looks like it should go for, some money. And I looked it up. It might be like $15 or so, and I paid $2. Personally, you might be able to tell as we go through things that I like small things. Small and metal is fine. I don't mind heavy so much. I used to sell everything with free shipping, but now I sell everything with buyer paying shipping because the shipping prices just keep going up. Right? This, you can tell, $2. This is a cloisonne, probably trivet dish, could be a coaster, from China. And I think this is famille vert, which means green family, which was an era, they had like a pink family and a green family. So it's old, and it seems to be in good condition. I don't feel any chips. So that actually should go, and it's got a dragon. That should probably be at least $20. I looked it up. I saw one listing at $55. I don't think this is in quite that good a condition. I mean, you could see there are little tiny spots in the white enamel, but I'll wash it with some dish soap and see how it goes. But anyway, I like these types of things. I used to live on the West Coast, and I just like enamelware. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's see. This little bird was my big purchase. I think he is so handsome, and you can tell he's got the eyes etched out. And so he's soapstone from Canada, and it looks like he should do well. And I think he's just gorgeous. I like birds. So I think it, personally, I underestimate, and I do tend to, I put everything at auction for 7 days. Now eBay repeats that. But there have been so many things that if we hadn't had at auction, we would have so undersold. So I know a lot of people like buy it now, but I don't do that. I've been burned a few times where, like the first time we listed something that we were brand new, right? And it was a figurine, a collectible figurine. And this guy contacted us, I think from London, and he's like, well, I'll pay, and it was expensive. He says, I'll pay like $600. And we're like, wow, that would be great, right? And we agreed, and then we couldn't stop the auction because the auction was in process. And so he ended up outbidding the last person to make sure he got it, and I think it was at like $735, but we had to sell it to him for what we agreed. So we kind of learned that you don't do that. Don't do that. And auctions can't be stopped. Well, maybe they can now, but still, it's not worth it. Just go to the end of the auction, and then turn it into a buy it now. And if somebody is contacting you, you can negotiate that. Okay, I am going off topic here. I'm so sorry, but the deeper you get, the more there is to know, right? Then I only bought, beside that, a group of local little cookbooks. When you're doing eBay, you kind of enter into this ecosystem that people don't seem to talk about. So some of these things that I'm maybe not going to list, I don't list absolutely everything that I buy. You reject a certain percentage. Then I go sell at a flea market. You could sell at a garage sale. Another part of the ecosystem kind of that you get into is you get to be friends with a lot of people in your town. You get kind of a network, right? And you find out when you're out and about, people tell you what they collect. So you might pick up something because you know that's something they want to collect, and they do the same for you. The thing you learn is that not everybody knows everything. We all wish we could, but there are so many specialties. That's kind of the fun of the treasure hunt, right? You know something that that other person didn't know. We've all had things that we've sold high, we've all had things we've sold low. No, because you're taking risks. You know, you go out there. I mean, I spent my $13 today and I'll make it back for sure. I don't want people to be afraid of eBay. It's not hard. It's just kind of a fun hobby. And you know, everybody talks about dopamine and scrolling and stuff. Well, eBay can be like that because I used to have the little notification on, and then sometimes I'd notify at the wrong time, but you're out and you know, cha-ching, 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 right? So it's nice, and it's fun to look and see what's sold, what hasn't. I think it's a great hobby. I think it's a great little money maker. You can do like I'm doing now with just a couple $100 a month. I use it a lot to buy other things on eBay, like, you know, books or, you know, little things around the house, because I have kind of a revolving account. So, yeah, very easy, fun, little bit of a write-off, a little bit of a moneymaker. And if you've got stuff, which we all do, or if you have hobbies like my husband did, where you collect things, it's a great way to sell something off and buy something new. So I hope that was information that you can use. And like I said, leave a comment, ask me any questions. And there is a lot more to it. So if you want to know more, let me know. So thank you for listening. Stay positive, and hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.